So if you're considering picking up the Sigma 16mm lens, you're probably trying to figure out how much space do you actually need to get shots like this, to be close to the lens and get a blurry background. Well, today I'm pulling out my handy dandy tape measure and we're going to be bouncing around the office so you can see just in a small space how wide of an angle you can actually get. So I've been rocking with the Sigma 16mm lens for quite some time now, and I had the same questions that you probably did, which is why you're watching this video. And that's just to see like how close can I actually get to the lens and still get a blurry background or still have a pretty wide frame. Over in the corner I have my other 35mm lens f1.8, and it produces a nice quality image. Only problem is I need about 4 feet between me and the end of that lens, and then some more depth behind me for that to be blurry. That's not always the best use case for everybody. Sigma 16 for this specific length right here, this is just gonna be about 2 feet 2 inches when I measured it out just from the tip of the lens to me here. And that's what's important here. The tip of the lens, not necessarily where the camera sits, because you have on every lens is going to be a minimum focusing distance. How close can you get to it before it just can't focus anymore because it is too close? But let's go ahead and go to the back of the office and show you what it would take to get another kind of shot with this lens. So this particular shot is about 2 feet 1 inches away from the camera. It is relatively close enough to where I could adjust whatever settings that I would need to. So depending on what you're wanting to do, the closer that you are to the lens, the more that the background will start to get blurred, just because you're in closer on the lens versus whatever it is behind you on the background. And this is not that far away from me, but you can notice some bokeh and background blur. So you can be pretty close to the lens, not have much space behind you, and still get a blurry background. The more space that you have when you're using this lens, the wider that it actually is. And the cool thing also, if you're concerned about the difference between it being like a prime lens instead of a zoom lens, where you have multiple focal lengths within one lens, on the Sony cameras specifically, now I know they make this for other models, but on the Sony camera specifically, you have what's called clear image zoom that allows you to crop in on the sensor so you don't have to worry about losing any of the bokeh behind you or any of the pixelation and stuff that can happen when you just crop in editing. So specifically to start using clear image zoom, I've set this as a specific button on my camera, and I'm going to show you how you set that up so you can quickly access that if you're using like a prime lens or something like that and you need a little bit extra reach. And we'll be talking about that in the next video.